Hi, my name is Felipe Hernandez and this is my game, Boots Spaceship. This game is about a rocket ship that we push and rotate, giving some force to give it a particular direction, avoiding some obstacles and reaching a green platform. And after reaching this, we get a new level. In this game, the rocket ship has obstacles, and if it touches them, this one is destroyed. The general idea is that the rocket must go from point A to B, so we're gonna need a mechanism that says here's where you start and another that says here's where you end. In this case, we're gonna boost the rocket and also using some left and right keys to rotate it. Also, there's gonna be some gravity that is going to affect the rocket, and we're gonna add some mobile obstacles. The core of game loop is get from A to B to complete the level and then progress to the next level. In this case, it's 4 levels in total. If you complete the last level, you go back to the starting point. This is a very simple game, so if you die, you remain at the same level until you pass it. And the main features are movement, fly in this case, word collision, and level progression. So this game was basically created in Unity, and in the Unity platform the game assets are the following. For the materials, I created materials for the rocket, the obstacles, and the rest of the world. That includes an skybox. The prefabs created were the ground, the rocket, the launch pad and the landing platform, the obstacles, main camera, and the directional lights. Also, a particles folder was created that includes the different kind of particles added to the rocket. These are an explosion particle, rocket jet particles, side thruster particle, and when you pass the level you get some success particles. The scenes are 4 in total, and the script folders contains one collision handler, one for the movement, an oscillator for the obstacles, and a quit application. But in this case was not completely applied because there's not any sort of menu. The idea of the movement class is control the movement of the game object. In this case is the rocket, and this allows for both linear and rotational movement. The movement is controlled by input keys, and the associated visual feedback is created throughout particle systems. This script begins by defining several serialized fields for things like thrust force, rotation force, and reference to particle systems. These fields can be set directly from the Unity editor. Here in the spectors is the place where we're going to place all the scripts. In this case, for the rocket, we apply like a component called rigid body. So this is gonna allow that the rocket can have some sort of gravity. So here we can configure the mass, and yeah, and actually here we can set the gravity, and also we can control the rotation. All these fields, we can find the main thrust. This one, the thrust for a linear movement. In this case, moving up. The rotation thrust. This is for rotational movement, and main engine particles, left thruster particles, and right thruster particles. These are reference to all the particle system components used to visually simulate the engine and thruster of the object. The collision handler is designed to handle collisions between the game object, it's attached to, and other objects in the game. At the beginning, it defines several serialized fields, like with load delay, this is the time to wait before loading the next level. Success particles and crash particles, that references to the particle system component, which are used to provide visual feedback for successful or unsuccessful collisions. Also, there is transitioning. It's a boolean to prevent multiple collision responses if already handling one. And collision disabled, a boolean to control where collisions should be processed. The start success sequence method and the start crash sequence method are responsible for handling what happens when a successful or unsuccessful collision occurs. For both methods, is transitioning is set to true and the movement script is disabled to prevent further control. The respective particles for success or crash are played. So here in the Spectre we also can use the collision handler script. So we may, as I mentioned, you can configure the level load delay and also the success particles that are part of. There is a particle folder that contains all these particles. So we set those here. And for the crash, in case of crashing, also have the explosion particles. And of course, this collision handler script goes to the rocket object. And also we have the oscillator script that is designed to make the game object in a periodic oscillating pattern. This can be useful for creating moving platforms, floating objects, or any other game object that needs to move in a consistent wave-like manner. This case was applied for all the obstacles. So as we mentioned, this oscillator script could be applied in any object of the game, because the idea is to add some difficulty. So we can configure this in different ways. The movement, we can configure it here, the movement vector, and we can make this object move like in the different axes, and we can play with this. Also we can play with the period of the movement, how fast is it or slow is it gonna move. So of course this is good for adding some extra difficulty. So here's where we're gonna start our gameplay. We can actually, if we can go to the next level, we can load this with the key L in the keyboard. So we go to different levels. In this case, are 4. But since we want to do like something challenging, we start playing now. For impulse, is you press the key space, so you can impulse the rocket. And if you wanna rotate right, you press D, and then press A if you want to go to the left. So this way you play with the gravity, and then you start moving until you reach the next platform. The idea is to reach, in this case, the green platform, but we have a lot of obstacles in the middle. Also, we can configure it with the C key if we want to disable all these explosions and stuff like that. So we press C, and we can actually go like freely in the environment. But if I press it again, I'm gonna crash again with the obstacles. So basically, that's the main idea of the video game. It was a bit challenging because the semester with C Sharp and the Unity was a little bit challenging, and of course applying all this to the code lab and with Blender at the same time was a little bit difficult. So I decided to make this simple game to proof that I'm able to actually use Unity. So yeah, thanks for listening and goodbye.